We'll have a little look. I'm drinking out of a champagne glass because it's the end of January and I felt like it. So on the nose for this, and it does, on the nose, you do get that very Pinot Grigio nose. I think you do get a bit of candy floss. But you also get lots of minerality. There is a touch of sherbet. But then you've got that kind of almost like a saltiness, but it's just that those minerals and I know stone isn't really something you can smell, but there is that. And on the palate, again, it just keeps going. I know I talk about this every week, but there's a lot going on in there. But there's, and certainly in the palate, you really get that, and that's the acidity. And again, this wine, what they don't do, something they do with wines now is something called malolactic fermentation. And quite often with white wines, you'll get that slight creaminess. And what they've done is they've tried to soften, they've done this malolactic fermentation, or forced malolactic fermentation, in order to soften the acidity. And it's adding a bacteria basically to make this reaction happen. And they haven't done this to this wine, so you do get that very strong acidity, which is that kind of biting sensation, like obviously with a lemon or anything there, but it's really moorish, I think, on this wine, which is lovely. And the good thing about that is it stands up to lots of food, and it's really interesting. So for me, again, and I don't drink a lot of white wine, but this one I really like because it's got so much going on and that acidity. It's a great food wine, so with any sort of white meat, fish, sushi, perfect for sushi. If you're sort of vegan or vegetarian, anything nutty, it's got that slight nutty. The Pfalz region is known for its almond blossom, and you kind of get a bit of that coming through in the wine. There's that just touch of nuttiness and almond.
In last week's Live Wine and Words, we tasted the Villa Wolf Pinot Gris, and I wanted to delve a little deeper into this wine. Firstly, let's deal with the German wine misconception. One of the most popular wines of the 1970s was the German wine Blue Nun, which you may have heard of. Marketed to be easy to drink and quaffable, this semi-sweet wine swept the UK, US and Canada throughout the 70s. Now, while the flair-wearing generation may have improved German wine export sales at the time, the lasting impression that all sweet wines are bad and all bad wines are sweet has done much to damage the image of German wines. The truth is, Germany produces some of the most gorgeous wines you will ever taste, including red, rosé and sparkling. So it's time to ditch the flares and drink German wine. Let's look at some quick facts. Germany has been producing wine for over 2 millennia. Saal Unstrut, Europe's northernmost wine-growing region, has been producing wine since 998 AD. Germany's most famous grape variety is Riesling, but Riesling can be produced as sweet, semi-sweet and dry. It makes up about a quarter of the grapes grown in Germany, and around 70% of it is dry or semi-dry. Germany has 13 wine regions. How many can you name? Let's have a closer look at Pfalz. The Pfalz region runs from the south of Upper Rhine to the French border, Alsace. Pfalz has a very mild and warm climate, which is ideal for the development and ripening of the grapes, because extract-rich dry wines can only be made from very ripe grapes. Villa Wolf itself lies in the picturesque village of Wachenheim in the Pfalz region of Germany. It is named after the beautiful Italianate villa, which was built in 1843, in an era of great success for this region. Then Ernest Luyssen of the Dr. Luyssen estate in the Moselle area took over the winery in 1996. His idea was to bring the experience in Riesling winemaking from the Moselle to the Pfalz, as well as producing wines from the grapes that are typical for the Pfalz area, such as Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Gewürztraminer and Dornfelder. Patrick Mollendorf, who's been at Villa Wolf since 2011, is in charge of the viticulture and winemaking at Villa Wolf, and they've even applied for organic certification for the estate vineyards, which is a process that takes several years to complete and would make 2022 the first official year of organic certification. The concept of making extraordinary wines in the estate vineyards lies in sustainable organic vineyard practices, combined with gentle handling of the fruit and traditional minimalist winemaking. Their entry-level Villa Wolf varietals, such as the Pinot Gris, have always been great value in terms of quality, consistency and varietal expression. So don't let the associations of Blue Nun and 70s sweet wine ruin your enjoyment of these gorgeous wines.